Hey guys, this is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews, and today I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to level with you. I am not a huge studio cycle fitnessy gal, right? I've never bought into the hype of Peloton. I had so many friends be like, you have to try my Peloton bike. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. I don't buy it, okay? But then we decided to review this Carol 2.0, and to be honest, I thought I'd hop on, I'd test out the programming, I'd test out the bike, I'd look at all the things I typically look at, and I'd walk away gaining an understanding of what the bike was, but overall just feeling like, yeah, this is essentially a good studio cycle bike. It's like anything other. However, I was sorely mistaken. I was put into my place. So I hopped on the bike, and what I initially did was a fitness test, and I kind of got my ass handed to me, and I thought I was like a fit chick, right? And then I went on to take one of their actual classes and did this weird kind of chanting class, which turns out I was really into and I totally dug. It almost felt like I was doing a hot yoga class on a bike. However, I immediately hopped off the bike, walked straight over to Coop, and I was like, I want this bike. Okay, to give you kind of a quick rundown, this is a high-tech indoor studio cycle bike that is programmed with AI intelligence. So essentially, AI is going to learn your patterns, learn your movements through that fitness test and through the other workouts that you are using on the bike. And it's going to create resistance and learn when to push you and then when to hold back. Not only is the resistance controlled by AI, but again, it's going to learn your movements. So as you progress in your fitness, it's also going to challenge you more. So it is also going to progress in your programming, in the resistance, in the intensity level. It's going to learn where you're at and then challenge you each time. According to Carol's website, it's using REHIIT, which essentially optimizes cardio health benefits. It's even better or as good as doing a 45-minute steady state cardio session, and it's only taking less than 10 minutes. Okay, so do I think that the Carol 2.0 is a great fit for everybody? No, I mean, one, it's an expensive bike. Two, people might not love the AI programming. You might be more into a iFit or a Peloton programming. If you are used to that high intensity class or those high intensity instructors, this might not be a good fit. And to be honest, I kind of enjoyed the different music. There was a chanting, there was a tiger story that walked you through that you felt like you were being chased by a tiger, but not in a gimmicky way. I actually fully enjoyed it. It's not like you're listening to Jojo Cat or whatever else music the Beastie Boys hypes you up. It's totally not like that. So if that's your jam, you might not like it. However, if you are looking for a quick conditioning piece, this is a solid bike to look at. If you are doing primarily lifting and just looking for a conditioning piece to add in throughout your week, just to give you that cardiovascular benefit and all of the health benefits that come along with that, I would 10 out of 10 recommend looking at this bike. Keep in mind that after you purchase this bike, you are going to have to pay the $15 a month in the programming, in their subscription fee. And if you don't pay that $15 a month, essentially the bike is useless to you. You can do a free ride, but it isn't going to change any sort of resistance. So that base level resistance is what it's going to stay at throughout the entire thing. So you can mimic REHIIT on your own by doing interval training in some aspect, but your resistance level is never going to change. So if you aren't willing to pay that $15 a month for the programming, I would look at other options. With that $15 a month, you aren't going to have on-demand or live classes like you would find with Peloton or iFit, but you are going to have access to fitness tests and 18 other different programs that are available to you. Okay, before we continue talking about this bike, I just kind of got excited to talk about this bike. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you can continue to see all things fitness. If you want to see me do a tiger session on this bike, let us know because I think it would be fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, if you do want to purchase this bike, we've made it really easy. Place a link below the like button. When you click that link, it does give us a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. And lastly, this bike was sent to us by the company. As you've seen in all my other reviews, I'll tell you what I liked and what I don't like. Now, right off the bat, I can tell you there is a lot I don't like about this bike, and anything that I am gonna say is me being really nitpicky about it because it is an expensive bike, so you want those details to matter. But overall, thoroughly enjoyed this bike. So let's talk a little bit more about the Carol 2.0. Now, like I said earlier, this is a more expensive bike costing $2,595. This bike is something that I would compare to like the Kaiser M3i indoor bike or even the Peloton bike, but both of those bikes are cheaper options than this Carol 2.0. In terms of the bike, I mean, it is a solid bike. It's got that rear mounted flywheel, which overall is just taking it up a notch in terms of its longevity, in terms of the construction of the bike. It felt super smooth, incredibly quiet as you were on that bike. However, like, it's a good bike, but it's just a bike. There's nothing like stand out about the bike itself. Where the Carol 2.0 really shines is, again, that AI programming. The bike's construction is made out of a heavy coated powdered steel frame. That powder coated steel frame is just gonna last you a long time. If you keep it in your garage or if you keep it in your house, it really doesn't matter. It's gonna help fight against corrosion or any rust that would come along your way after many years of use. But overall, I love the build and I love the powder coat that they've put on this frame. Something that I really appreciate about the pedals, particularly on this bike, is that they are dual pedals, meaning that they have the ability to use cross-training shoes, and it's a like caged toe box on one side, or cycling shoes on the other. So if you don't want to buy cycling shoes, you don't have to. You can go ahead, just use your Metcons or your Nanos or whatever other like cross-training shoe. Totally use that and it's fine. With this bike, it uses a belt drive system versus a chain drive system, which is just so much better over time. You don't have to worry about like components like that breaking down over time. It also uses a frictionless magnetic brake system, which again is just gonna give that bike that durability and that long-lasting quality that we are all after, especially when we're paying like $2,500 for a machine. With this bike, you can go ahead and customize both the seat and the handlebars to fit your height needs or whatever kind of preferences you're looking for. Now, there's a couple callouts that I actually do have to the bike seat and to the handlebars. So with the bike seat, one, this isn't a call out, but it's actually incredibly comfortable, like way more comfortable than like the Peloton or the Nordic S22i bike seat. However, when you adjust it, it's using like levers. And if you have the seat all the way down and that seat all the way forward, you can't fully tighten the lever. So then you have to adjust the seat back and then bring it back. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle if you are on the shorter side and trying to get the seat into that proper place for you. So I didn't really like that. I think a better system would have just been like circular knobs, because then they wouldn't be bouncing into each other. But that is something to keep in mind. You can get it to set where you want it to. You just have to kind of do some finagling along the way. Now, my second thing is with the original Carol bike, it actually had heart rate monitors on the handlebars. I actually really like that. With the Carol 2.0, it does come with a chest strap, but if you are somebody who doesn't want to finagle with using a chest strap every time, you're kind of out of luck, because there's no other way to monitor your heart rate. And monitoring your heart rate on this programming is a key factor, and it's important data that AI programming is going to take into consideration, knowing how fast you are recovering and things like that. So even though I love that there is multiple places to put your hands on a handlebar, I do wish there was still a heart rate monitor system on the handlebar versus only having a chest strap. On the Carol website, it says that users from 4'7" all the way up to 6'7" can easily use this bike. That's the parameters in which it fits. Also, it has a user weight capacity of 330 pounds, which is heavier than like the Diamondback, heavier than the Peloton, heavier than the Nordic S22i. So overall, a great user weight capacity. If you hop on this bike and you feel like it is too easy, just keep going. It is learning your movement patterns. It is learning when to push you. Overall, I think that was like such a cool feature. As you're warming up, it's gonna stay at like a super easy baseline level. During those sprints, it's going to start increasing that resistance to where your fitness goals are. And then you're gonna have another section of like kind of cool down, and it's gonna go back down to a base level. But each workout that you do, it's going to increase that intensity. It's gonna increase that resistance during those sprint times based on how you are progressing. Some of the metrics that you might see on the screen are going to be an overall fitness score, a heart rate. So when you use that chest strap, you're going to be able to monitor your heart rate, an RR interval, which is basically small changes in intervals in between successive heartbeats on your ride, your heart rate variability measurement, peak power, energy output, and of course my favorite, global and local leaderboard stats to see how you measure up based on your age and your fitness level. If you decide to purchase this, you have 100 days to decide if it is right for you. If not, the company will happily take it back as long as there are no dings or damages done to the bike while it's in your care. All right, so here's kind of another call out that I do have about this bike. Again, let's remember, this is a $2,500 bike, like an expensive piece of machinery that has 5 years on the warranty. Overall, I would have loved to see at least 10, at least 15. That is kind of like at least 10 is the standard by which we look for an expensive bike warranty. This doesn't meet that. I wish that it were more than 5 years. I just don't see it meeting the mark for such an expensive piece of equipment. Having said all of that about the warranty, I really don't think you are gonna have a problem with the bike breaking down over time. Coop has agreed. He said the same thing about the original Carol bike. He's had it, he's been using it, he hasn't had any issues for a couple years. And so overall, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with the bike breaking down. But again, I do wish just for like our peace of mind that it was a little longer warranty. All right, so here's kind of my breakdown. Here is my simple overview. If you are somebody who, one, is looking for a budget-friendly option, this is not for you. If you like the high energy intensity of what a Peloton or an iFit class is gonna bring to you, this is not for you. However, if you like the idea of a little different music, a little different kind of vibe than a typical studio cycle class is, if you like the idea of AI programming, learning your fitness levels, learning your patterns, learning when to push you, and then upping the resistance so you don't have to worry about any of that, then this bike is gonna be super fun to try. If you try this bike, let us know. I'm honestly gonna fight Nathan here in a minute for the ability to bring it home because I want to bring it home and use it for a while. So does he because he just tried it. Guys, it is so good. It's a unique experience. I can't say enough good things about it. This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Peace.